And as mentioned, the Aggies are here, Matt Taylor and Ian Baker, and we will go right to questions. Start right here, second row. Dawn, thank you.
Mark Rudy from the Las Cruces Sun-News. Ian, you're pretty much the only one on this team who's played meaningful minutes in an NCAA tournament game. How key is your leadership going to be for a lot of the guys? Maybe this be their first time playing in a tournament game.
I think it'll be very key. I think my job is to keep my team calm and keep them composed and, give their best effort.
Matt, kind of to piggyback off that, I know you have played in a tournament game before too, but how key has Ian's leadership been for you guys this year, and how key will that be in this game?
It's been huge, obviously, all year. He's been a guy that we've looked to, and we've fed off of him. We've always said, our PG is going to take us as far as we go, and so just being, him being our team leader and stuff like that, it'll definitely help out there when we go through stuff that some of us haven't been through.
Left-hand side, gentlemen.
John Warner, Waco Tribune. This for Ian. What kind of challenges does Baylor present? Do they look anything like anybody y'all played this year?
I'm not too sure if they look like anybody we played this year, but as far as I know they're a big team. They're long. They're a great rebounding team, especially on the offensive rebound. So I would say our job going into this game is to keep them off the offensive rebounds and do our best to make them adjust to us.
Andy Morgan, NBC in El Paso. Matt, what does this team, your team, do really well that gives you guys a chance to win this game?
Well, I think as a team, we share the ball well. We play together. We play for each other. Obviously we can shoot it a little bit, stuff like that offensively, and then defensively, we're pretty good as well. So between sharing the ball and then just trying to pick up our pressure on defense and, be active and stuff like that, I think those are our strong points.
For Ian, this John Morris from Baylor Radio. A lot of times in the NCAA tournament, you're seeing a team you haven't seen before except on tape. You guys have played against Baylor, not this year, but the last 2 years. Does that familiarity mean anything going into this game?
Not too much. And I would say for us, our playing style was totally different from last year, maybe actually the last 2 years. So it's pretty much different.
For either Ian or Matt, obviously with their size advantage, is this a game where you guys at the guard position are probably going to have to help out in the rebounding, especially with how good offensive rebounding team they are?
Matt, take that one, please.
Yeah, I believe obviously that our guards will have to come down and help chip out, get a body on extra guys because they're such a great rebounding team, especially on the offensive glass. So yeah, we should look to, go help out and stuff like that.
Both for Ian and Matt, head coach Paul Weir in his first season obviously been around the program for quite a while. What has changed maybe this tournament trip as opposed to others, and what kind of influences he had on this program?
Ian first, please, then Matt.
I think Coach P. Weir, he just has us in a right mindset. I think the last couple times that we came here, we wasn't as focused. We didn't pay as much to a detail like we should have. And that's pretty much been, what Pete Weir has done for us all year, just kept us focused, always worried about the next game. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I just feel like, since he's been here, he's kind of changed the culture of the program in the short time that he has. And, just helping us understand that, it's still a basketball game and it's how you prepare versus, the other distractions that may, come up as you're playing the game and stuff like that. So, just core values that he's taught us and that we've basically adopted and, we try and, use amongst each other, and we try and say the same things to each other behind closed doors.
Both for Ian and Matt, I have a question for you. Just in regards to being able to overcome that 13-point deficit in the WAC title game, what kind of momentum does that bring into this game?
Matt, you're going first this time.
I wouldn't say it brings any momentum. You know, I think that was obviously a different game, so it's a completely different challenge ahead of us. But it's just a testament of how we've played all year, which is together, and, you know, we always try and fight no matter what the situation is. So that's all we try to do there.
And to piggyback on what Matt said, like, I don't think it brings much momentum, but it just shows that no matter how the game is going, we have some fight in our team, and we're a resilient team. So I think that is something good that we can carry over into this game.
For Ian, you guys have been a pretty good three-point shooting team this year, obviously going up against a very good defensive three-point shooting team that has length. What do you guys have to do to try and get some shots off, get some good looks? Is it just kind of taking the opportunities as you get them?
I think, you know, just sharing the ball around, getting some movement on offense, forcing their defense to move around some, and not forcing it, not taking the first look, but, you know, like I said, moving the ball around and, you know, getting the easy shots.
In the back, Dawn.
For Ian, senior year, and I guess for Matt as well, both of you guys being in your last year with the program, what are you guys doing to make sure that you kind of soak this experience in and kind of make the most of it?
Matt first, then Ian.
You know, just try and have fun, try and embrace the little things. You know, not too many teams have the privilege of being here, obviously. And so, you know, we try not to take anything for granted, try and have fun with each other, you know, just be together, embrace the moments. And like I said, just try not to take anything too serious. Obviously, still focus on what you need to focus on. But, you know, have fun while you're here because, like I said, it's a privilege.
Yeah, and just basically enjoy the moment. We know this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Not many teams get to be in this situation. And, you know, just try to get the team to stay calm and take it one day at a time. And, you know, we're happy that we're here, but don't be satisfied.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. You are excused, and best of luck tomorrow. Western Athletic.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes.
No bulletin, more material.
No. Head coach Paul Weir is here. We're going to ask him to open up with a statement about being in Tulsa, maybe about his opponent, and then we'll go to questions. Paul, please.
Yeah, obviously Baylor is a terrific basketball team, as much size as we've probably seen this year. Very good offensive rebounding team, very good post-feed offense team. So we have our work cut out for us as far as, you know, mitigating that size as best we can. We've been an energy team all year, an effort team all year. We're really hopeful that, you know, whatever we do tactically, we can also supplement with incredible energy and effort and kind of overcome whatever kind of deficiencies may be there. So that's really the gist of what we're trying to do. Excited to be here, obviously, in this city and in this forum, but also hopeful that, you know, what we've done to get here we'll continue to be able to do on a bigger stage so people can kind of respect and appreciate the team that we have.
Questions? Right in back of you.
Andy Morgan, NBC in El Paso. Coach Weir, your first season as a head coach, but you've been through this experience as an assistant. What did you learn through those experiences as an assistant here in the tournament that you're kind of carrying over now as a head coach?
To be totally honest with you, I've told a few people this. Being an assistant coach does not really prepare you to be a head coach very well. When you're assistant coach, you think you have all the answers. You think you know what it's like. You think you'll make all the right decisions. And then when you become a head coach, you realize it's brand new territory. So this year's been a very fruitful journey for me, just learning a lot of different things. And kind of going through a lot of these experiences. Do you take notes? Do you have things? We did some different things at our conference tournament we haven't done in the past. We did some subtle things here differently preparing for this that maybe we haven't done in the past. But, I'm going into this with a lot of lessons to be learned and things to kind of grow from as well. And I don't want to sit here and pretend that I have all the answers of how things are going to be different.
Yeah, Cliff Brunt, Associated Press. How does having players from so many different places across the world impact the team and improve the experience?
That's a great question. I think basketball as a whole is becoming so much more diverse. I think when you look at the diversity of the NBA, I think college athletics is really quickly coming behind. The growth of not just the Canadian players, but all these different countries has really made basketball a global game. Its expansion in so many other countries around the world inevitably that's where basketball is headed. So I think college athletics is a little bit further behind getting there. But I think as years pass and generations kind of come through, it'll just becoming more diverse every year. So I think it's a great experience for these basketball players. A lot of the good ones get to go play professionally, which means they're going to be in another country anyways. And I think it's been very fruitful for us as well.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. Paul, you talked about Motley earlier in the week. You've been able to watch a lot more film since we spoke earlier in the week. Anything you see?
KenPom stats or no?
No KenPom stats
Okay.
today for you. But what do you, now that you've watched even more film about Motley, and any ideas now on what you're going to do to contain a guy like him?
Yeah, Jeff, probably the best post player we've seen this year was Tim Williams, and he's a terrific basketball player. I know he had kind of some injuries and some different things happen, but we had to play him twice. So, we've gone into games really trying to take away post players and putting game plans in place to hopefully do that. So that's really what we spent a lot of time on. It's not necessarily just him. They're big, they're strong, they like to play through the post, and we've had to really spend a lot of time on our post defense, whether it's post feeds or when it gets there on the catch.
Is there similarities to Tim other than just being the best post maybe you saw earlier this year? Or is Motley not as much of a back to the basket like Tim is?
No, there are some differences as far as their particular characteristics, but it's just as far as the emphasis on a really good post player, that's probably the last time we've had to do it.
Mark Rohde, Los Cruces Sun News. Paul, while you guys have been here 5 of the past 6 years, Ian's pretty much the only one on your team who's played really meaningful minutes in a tournament game. You guys have leaned on his leadership all year. How much is his leadership going to be key in this game for you guys?
It's one game, so unfortunately we really don't have a lot of time for it. We kind of went through that a little bit in the WAC tournament. We kind of went through it all year. It was really the first time a lot of these guys, even though the returners are on our roster, had been through things. So, we're going to have to grow up in a hurry tomorrow, and we don't really have time for some of those other guys to get through whatever it is like we did in the WAC tournament.
Left-hand side, Paul.
John Warner, Waco Tribune Herald. Baylor has lost to lower-seeded teams the last 2 years. Do you use that as an example to your team, or you just focus more on this season?
Yeah, to be totally honest with you, we're just preparing for them the best we can. We really don't get into a lot of those other things.
Jack Nixon, Aggie Sports Network. Throughout the year, your team has had the only game is the next game mentality. How do you think that's helped you get ready for this sort of a situation, please?
Yeah, that was another thing that I kind of adopted, that I didn't really know where it was going to go at the beginning of the year. We didn't talk about beating a rival or winning a WAC tournament or winning a WAC championship or whatever it may be. We just literally talked about that day and the next game, and that's how we've approached every single day all year. And then once the Bakersfield game ended, it was immediately we're getting ready for the next game and preparing for that. So, I can't even tell you who we may play. All I've been focused on is Baylor, and that's all we're working on right now. And I guess at the end of the season, we'll reflect and look back and, maybe tinker some things going forward. But the one day at a time mentality is something we've really done, and it's gotten us to this point, so we'll take it as far as it goes.
Luke Liddon, ABC7 El Paso. Talk about how you hope to counter Baylor's height and length with possibly the team's speed and athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, that's really going to be, I think, the gist of the entire game, who's able to kind of implement their style better. We obviously want to use our style of play, our effort, our energy. We've kind of hung our hat on that all year long, and that's going to hopefully negate whatever advantages they may have for size and even on the glass. So if we're able to do it the way we want to do it, I think we'll be pleased with how the game unfolds, and if we can't, then I think they will be.
You guys obviously no stranger to the NCAA tournament. Do you see this as an opportunity to kind of put New Mexico State and your brand of basketball on the map?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we've been trying to do that all year long. We went into the season with a lot of people doubting us, losing Pascal. CBS picked us 163rd and spelled my name wrong. So we've had our doubters all year long as far as what this team can and can't do. And, we beat a Power 5 team for the first time in nearly 25 years. We beat our rival for the first time at home in nearly 10 years. We did that with a rookie head coach and one senior. We lost our leading scorer to injury and obviously Pascal to the draft. So we've dealt with people thinking we can't accomplish things all year long. We've really never listened to any of them. The guys in the locker room and us, we believe in each other. And tomorrow when the ball goes up, we're just going to fight to the death and give it everything we got.
Down here on the left, Paul.
Coach Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. The familiarity factor, you guys didn't play him this year, but you had played him the 2 previous years. Does that affect your preparation? Does that matter in a tournament game like this?
We have not taken really any time this year to worry about previous seasons or previous games. It's really been about making this team and our journey together. There may be for someone like Ian, who's kind of been on the court with them and stuff like that, but this team is so new. We have a lot of new faces, and even the returning faces were never really part of our rotation in years past. So we really haven't spent any time talking about what happened in previous games. It's about looking at our film and our preparation this year with this team, in comparison to what Baylor's doing this year with this team.
Anything else for the head coach? Second row.
Paul, you guys have been a pretty good three-point shooting team this year. You talked a little about this week that they're a very good defensive three-point shooting team, or three-point, good at defending the three-pointer with their size and length. What do you guys try and do to get, good looks at the basket? Is just kind of, getting your opportunities at the three-point shot?
Jeff Grammer's KenPom account would say we're not a great three-point shooting team, but we do have, we're in that light, we're both incredibly similar. I touched on that this week. They have a top 25 three-point defense. We have a top 25 three-point defense. They have a top 25 offensive rebounding percentage. We have a top 25 offensive rebounding percentage. They do a really good job of slowing the game defensively and getting long possessions. We do the exact same thing. They've had issues creating turnovers, and at times we have as well. So we're remarkably similar in how we execute our various kind of styles of play. We just go about it in much different ways. But there's no mistake about it. We're going to have to make some shots. And I think the lulls we've just had issues with shot selection. And Braxton and Ian are 2 guys that have to make sure they take the right shots. Our shot chart when we've kind of struggled in games offensively is when Ian and Braxton just shoot much more than everybody else, and we've thrived ourselves on balance all year, and they have to be patient and let the game come to them. I thought Ian and Braxton really in the WAC tournament kind of epitomized who we are and what we've tried to be about all year. They were just patient, and a lot of and really Braxton never even really got a shot off, but Ian made a lot of his shots late, and they didn't go out really just trying to force the game onto them. They let the game kind of come to them. So as long as we have really good balance and we stay patient offensively, I feel good about our ability to at least take the right shots. And we don't talk about whether a shot goes in or not. We just talk about the quality of the shot, both defensively and offensively. If they take the shots we want them to take and they happen to go in, then you just kind of pat them on the butt and say good job. But if we take the shots that they want us to take, then that's not something we want, whether they go in or not.
On the corner.
Paul, I know you've been doing a ton of radio this week, TV spots, a lot of media. Kind of breaks the routine when you come to the NCAA tournament. I've listened in on some of those radio interviews, and it seems like a lot of the questions to you are about, you know, master's degrees, about first-year coach, about being from Canada, not much about the team. Anything surprise you, or are you kind of expecting this time of year, not a lot of people outside of the New Mexico stamp really know much about your team?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's expected. It's our team's job to maybe help those people notice those things. I feel bad that only 2 guys get to come up. I feel bad that these guys all can't be here with me. We've done this thing from day one as a team, and hopefully we'll finish this thing as a team. It's and understandably so, but hopefully now it's our opportunity to show everyone what our team's about and how it is we got here when the odds were completely stacked against us.
Anything else for the head coach of the Aggies? All right.
Thank
you
everyone
very
so
much. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck.
Thank you.